languages. Was it a wise decision to form administrative units for governance on the basis of language? That will be really bad mistake. That's so I don't want to mention. But when we analyze this issue, the relationship between language and the people, language is one of the strongest determining features or factors for a people to feel oneness among them. Some people would argue and feel that to establish nationalist identity, religion could be a stronger force of binding people together than language. There has to be an identity of national consideration. Then viewed being internationalist would immediately add that what should bind people together should be the consideration of we all being human beings, living on different parts of this beautiful planet globe. Even Pope Francis, in his latest apostolic exhortation, he speaks about the necessity for us to consider this globe, this planet, Earth, as our common abode, common place of living, common home, which in other words is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which is also our understanding. So as Amartya Sen discusses in his argumentative Indian, there are different identities for every individual, not one identity. Then he says, even though now he spends most of his time as a globe-trotter, end of the day he is a Bengali. With his language, which is closest to his heart, cultural ethos, the place of birth, all those things. Then he has the feeling of being an Indian. Then he is a world citizen. Then he discusses some perhaps forbidden areas. Now people are identified with their sexual preferences also. And all sorts of complex formulations are there now. All this Amartya Sen discusses. This is applicable to each of us. When I ask this question, I am a Malayan. Then my identity as an Indian citizen. Then very sincerely I feel if something bad happens in any corner of the world, like most of us who are here, while we are spending solidarity with Palestine, our Samudaya and various other organizations have come together to bring Freedom Theatre from Palestine and Janashakthi Manch from Delhi, and in January 13, 14, 15, 16 and all that you are going to have programs here. One of the famous Malayalam poet, M.A.Baby had written about Engo Manushane Changala Kaigal, Langan Kaigal, Undi, Engo Mardan and Onda Praharam, Yuduvadan, Prota. We became translated because I have very poor translation. The meaning of this is, in whichever corner of the world someone is being changed, I feel my hands are changed. That much I don't have to explain. If anywhere someone is beaten, I feel I am getting the beating on my back. This is the feeling of it. So we start. So what is our identity? This question is important. Then what are the basic aspects of identity we should consider one group of people homogeneous to call themselves as a nation and a nation state and an administrative and geographical entity. And we were discussing about Palestine. We consider them as a nation, but they don't have a piece of land to set their foot on. Now, let me come doing a fast forwarding. The basic or a very vexed, complex debate among different determinants like language, cultural homogeneity, and ethnic homogeneity, and religious homogeneity. What is predominant? Most of us say that it is language and culture which should bring people together as a unit. It can be a province within a country and various other things. And some others are no, it could be other factors. And the strongest contention is on the basis of religion. And we have in front of us, when Britishers left our country, India was divided basically on the basis of religious ground. We say India continued to be a secular nation. India is not on the basis of religion, but another nation was carved out of this great subcontinent with the name Pakistan, basically based on religion. And this is the classic example. Now there is no single Pakistan. Now we have Bangladesh and Pakistan. The religion of Bangladesh and Pakistan is the same. Why did they got separated and became two different nation states? The language is different. So our contention that language and culture is a far basic and superior factor keeping people together has been proved in front of our eyes. And religious homogeneity did not keep East Pakistan and West Pakistan together. Notwithstanding the geographical distance, to begin with, they remained as a single nation state. But you know what has happened in history in front of our eyes. India is concerned within a nation state. There again a question mark is there. Can India be defined as a nation state? Anyway, we have one constitution, pan-Indian administration, all that. Those details I don't have to go. But within that administrative structure, constitutional structure, political oneness with India, and also we have to discuss the idea of India and what is happening to that. That's an entirely different topic. I only mentioned that so that we can, each one of us can think, introspect and develop that idea in our own mind. And what is happening to that with the murder of Kalburgi, Mohan Bansali, about Akhilak, Muhammad Akhilak, what had happened to him in Dakhila and so on. That's also an equally weighty matter to be debated. But formation of linguistic states within the country of India, that idea developed long before we achieved political independence. In fact, it is interesting, in the entire country, the strongest movement for a linguistic state started in Odisha, way back in 1895. And the first linguistic state in India was also Odisha. And Madhusudan Das was the leader who advanced this particular idea. Before that, Bihar and Odisha were kept together as a province under Britishers. And as a result of this movement, Odisha was split and it was separated, and the state of Odisha was formed, which gave this concept that linguistic state can be formed. Then again we do a fast forward. The most protracted struggle for linguistic state was carried out in the Telugu-speaking areas. And the struggle of Koti Sriramalu is well known. And it was the martyrdom of Koti Sriramalu which acted as a catalyst, which gave a great fillip for Government of India to take steps. But during British days, this issue was discussed, and people like Rajaji, Kripalani and many others had different views. Sardar Patel had different views. But the strongest current within the freedom movement was to have linguistic states. And socialists and leftists and communists who were part of the freedom struggle and freedom movement, they also discussed this particular point. And communists who were working within the national freedom movement and the imperialist movement, they have this understanding that formation of linguistic provinces and language-based administrative structure would be the most democratic and scientific way to go forward. Here, the adjective democratic is very important. Even almost 6 decades after the linguistic states having been formed, I do not know the state of Karnataka, how far administrative task is being done in Kannada. Administration of justice, how far it is being done in Kannada. So far as Kerala is concerned, judgments are pronounced in English. What an atrocious thing. How can we say that this is democratic? If medium of instruction is not the mother tongue, if medium of administration is not mother tongue, if medium of administration of justice is not mother tongue, you are doing everything, education, administration and justice, for those who are English has and English have not. Those who have the strength of English, they have an advantage. They have a dominance. This is what is happening in India. And democracy means opportunity for people to participate in matters associated with the state, matters associated with society, matters associated with education and administration in their mother tongue. That's the most democratic thing. That's being denied. And we are not sufficiently concerned about it. We are not sufficiently serious about it. Once in a while we discuss this and we leave it at that. So this has to be addressed in a sharper manner. During the formative years, we were very serious and communists were the most serious on this issue. Because more scientific, scholarly, seminal works related to state formation and the importance of language and culture associated with nationality, state and governance. Most scholarly works have been authored by communists on this issue. EMS's work, Kerala Malayaliകളുടെ മാതൃഭൂമി, Kerala, the motherland of those who speak Malayalam.
Nationality question in Kerala is English.
Yeah, that has come out in English with nationality. The title is Nationality Question in Kerala. Then I think Dange had written similarly. Sundaraya had written serious work. Then Bengal also. Then for Punjabi Subha, the movement was led by Comrade Soti Kandar. Professor Chandrasekhar perhaps will be delving deep into all those aspects. Now, with all this, and I think Motilal Nehru committee appointed by ISIS, then his son and future Prime Minister of India, Pandit Nehru, before becoming Prime Minister, he had also wrote and discussed this. Serious himself in 1953 December. So we are also discussing in the month of December. The committee for the reorganization, State Reorganization Commission with the former Chief Justice of India, Faisal Ali, was appointed, and Malayali was also there apart from Kunslu. K.M. Panikkar was also a member of that committee. They worked and all that detailed history I don't have to say. Now again another fast forward. 14 states and 6 union territories were formed as part of all this. Now we have 29 states and 7 union territories. Originally states and union territories together was 20. 14 plus 6, 20. That time Tripura was also union territory, Manipur was also union territory. Now we have 29 states and 7 union territories, 36. All this is because of dividing states, carving out states from within a state. For no solid scientific reason, but due to political exigencies. Of course, most recently is a classic example, carving out of Telangana. Now, a deeper study of this would be very important, necessary and useful. Mind you, this is the province which was formed on the basis of Telugu language as a result of the sacrifice of Koti Sri Ramalu, and that state based on language is being cut into 2 pieces. So the Telugu language is cut into 2 pieces. Why? What for? Here comes formation of linguistic states alone is not going to solve the problems of people. There are so many other things to be done to take care of the problems of people. Forming a state on the basis of language is the foundation. Then you have to address the problems of workers, peasants, unemployed youth, women, Dalits, minorities, marginalized sections of society. That was not addressed. Then political vested interests developed in society. They started pitting one section. There are regional imbalances within a linguistic state. So issues related to regional imbalances and the division between haves and have-nots those who get educational opportunities and those who are denied educational opportunities. If such disparities are not addressed and solved, political vested interest and even communal vested interest can pit one section against the other, advancing specious argument. In this sense, outwardly it would appear as a very logical. Our area is not developing because the other area is taking away all possibility of development. So they think that if we form a separate state consisting of these districts, if that happens, more IAS post, IPS post will be created, another chief minister would be there, another council of ministers would be there, all that. For people, nothing. This is what we fail to. This is our failure of the democratic movement to communicate this with the masses of people. That is why Uttarakhand, first Uttarakhand and then Uttarakhand, then from Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh is being carved out. From Bihar, Jharkhand is being carved out. This is not going to solve the problems. Then how? Only by empowering people. There, the task of the left and democratic forces is very important, and our inability to reach out all sections of people who are being denied their rights, their democratic rights, their economic rights, their cultural rights, we won't be able to address the problems that we are faced with. There, the solution is the program being given, the program of People's Democratic Front in the party program. How to solve the problems which are faced by the people of our country. I don't want to go into that. CPIM updated party program gives a clear idea about how we should go about, what are the slogans that we should advance. But we don't know how the left and democratic forces should be strengthened itself, and as a result of that, how the People's Democratic Front can be strengthened in our society, and how we will be able to, and when we will be able to achieve that. Meanwhile, there are other interim slogans we can advance, and implementation of the recommendations of Sakaria Commission report is very important in that context. Now, lot of talk is there about decentralization, strengthening of states and strengthening of panchayats and all that. But actually what is happening is concentration of power more and more in Delhi. And even in Delhi, concentration of power more and more in one particular person who is the present Prime Minister. This is the reality. Our demand for the implementation of Sakaria Commission report, which is not a panacea with regard to the administrative problems of our country, but still this would go a great deal. Their major recommendations, utilizing the provisions of Article 258, more powers should be given and can be given to states. What Sakaria Commission states is that where uniformity and common approach and action is very much required, considering the geographical unity and integrity of India as a whole, all authority except this should be given to states. They don't concretely say this can be given to states. But Sakaria Commission clearly states, that's the heart of the recommendation of Sakaria Commission. Center should keep with center only those powers and subjects which are required for keeping the geographical unity and integrity of India, which is important. Rest of the things can be given to states. So practically, what does it mean? You just think there is a program called Prime Minister's Gramina Rozgar Yojana. Am I right?
Yes.
Are Gramina, village road. Why should Prime Minister come to village road? Of course, the present Prime Minister cannot be blamed for that. He is only looking for, international roads and international air routes for that matter. He is practically against this Prime Minister's Gramina Roskar Program. He is for international air routes only. That we know very well. But one of the programs is this. This, to my horror, when I was a Rajya Sabha member, a municipal chairman from Kerala came to Delhi. I said, good. He came to my flat. While discussing, I asked him, is there any conference of municipal chairpersons in Delhi that is possible? No. I want to get a project sanctioned in my municipality. And I said, what is this? Delhi clearing some project in a municipality? He said, yes. So I came to know about this almost 20 years ago. But still now, there are such projects. It is stupidity. I don't want to tell more about this. There are many such projects. Delhi is not willing to leave its, what you call, vice-like grip over every village of our country. By sitting in Delhi, they want to rule every village. So, when a Gramin road, village road is sanctioned, the ward member will have to speak. This is Prime Minister's village road. What nasty, ugly, undemocratic experience is that. So, not only linguistic state, that's the problem. That's why Telangana had to be carved out. This is my primary contention. Just by formation of linguistic state is not going to solve the problem. The power which is concentrated in Delhi should go to states, so that unnecessary power concentrated in state capitals can also go to districts and municipalities, corporations and village panchayats. Here I am in full agreement with Mahatma Gandhi, where his concept of Gram Swaraj. Of course, there can be inadequacies, or today when you look at it, but see that great man. One of the deficiencies of the left, according to me, in a humble manner, there are many areas where, with respect, we have to disagree with Mahatma Gandhi and we have to criticize Mahatma Gandhi. But there are many positive ideas which Mahatma Gandhi advanced, which we fail to understand and assimilate properly. And now Congress people abandoned that long ago. It is our task. His concept of need and greed. See, nature has given us human beings to satisfy our need, but not to satisfy our greed. Now in Paris, the environment summit has concluded partial success. But this is the core of the matter when we discuss about the future of not only our village, of our beautiful globe. Abandoned. Only the left and progressive forces can take it. In Kerala, what we have been trying to do under EMS in the form of People's Flag is, doing whatever a village can do on its own for protecting the interest of the village. That should be done by the village alone. What a village alone cannot do, district panchayat can address this. Whatever a district is unable to do, state should take care. And there are many projects which a state alone cannot do, or due to a variety of reasons, more than reversed. Now, when we discuss about decentralization and democratization of society, we find, as I have already mentioned and all of us know, over concentration of power in the present Prime Minister. And to sum up, Without any constitutional amendment in India, a US model presidential system is in operation today under Narendra. Davolkar was not there. How alleging that Muhammad Al-Khat ate beef, whereas he only ate mutton, which has been proved after scientific forensic examination. A mob has been incited to trash and kill him. When we speak about this, some of our well-wishers call and warn us, what are you doing? For example, in Delhi, Kerala House, there was an incident. So we went. I stopped eating beef for 20 years. Before that, when we started our life in Delhi party commute, I used to get 120 rupees those days in the mid-80s as the party allowance. So beef was our mainstay as a nutritious food. And it used to cost 4 rupees per kilo. Now it is over 200. Over 200. Those days, mid-80s. I had to go by bus number, I remember, 260 is the DTC bus number. Go to Juma Masjid to buy. 2 kilos we would buy, one go, to save transport charge also, for 8 rupees. So after having stopped beef eating, after 10-15 years, I used to eat. Then I stopped. Then meat, that is abandoned due to other considerations. But then, after the latest Kerala House incident, I went and ate beef after so many years. But some photographers, how many people were taking photographs? It appeared in many newspapers. So many people called me and what are you doing in Delhi? There is no strong party to give you protection. Don't you know what happened to Akilek for having eaten mutton and he was accused? Now you are eating beef and announcing that I am eating beef. Why are you doing so? It's a question. I remember Romila Tharpar, along with other artists and writers, attending in a seminar in India in a center. Pradesh Nandi was also sitting among the audience because it is basically an intellectuals, artists congregation. Romila Tharpar was asked in the question answer session, with all that is happening in society, don't you feel slightly apprehensive when you write something? And do you hold back some argument or some words for fear of what will happen when this is being printed? She was asked, and there was a silence for a moment. Then the reply given by Romila Tharpar was very revealing, very touching, very striking. She said, earlier, I used to write very freely. Whatever comes to my mind as right, correct, which I should communicate with my readers, I used to write and publish. Now, I would introspect. I would spend a lot of time thinking whether I should actually write this or not. Then, I avoid certain words with the justification that using this word can be avoided, because using this more accurate way, she is avoiding. But if I replace this more accurate word with another word, which also conveys almost the same meaning, but that may provoke those forces less, then I will go for another word. She was so truthful. Then she did not end there. Then she said, still there are some points and some arguments where I would feel that this would provoke them. This will attract their anger and perhaps attack. But still, if I don't say this and if I don't write this, I would be doing injustice to me And only when I feel so strongly about expressing something in strongest words, I use that. Earlier, I used to be very free in expressing my thoughts without any restriction. That means an outstanding intellectual, a public intellectual, a person who can be considered as the conscience of the society, pride of India. She states in very, very clear terms that the kind of lucid, unshackled freedom with which she used to write and express herself, that is no more there. Now she has to think many times before she makes her formulation. She stated that I won't cow down before these forces, but I have to be more introspective before I choose my words. This is the situation I have always contributed very meaningfully in furthering, in taking the democratic forces forward, the democratic spirit of our country forward. Print media and electronic media is also mostly playing a positive role in protecting the idea of India from the assaults and attacks of communal extremist forces. But there are areas which the mainstream print media and electronic media won't show much interest in. Those are rights of the working class. Well, more than the combined population of the entire Europe is the number of workers who participated in strike on September 2nd in India. Isn't it? Yeah. The number of workers who participated in the second September strike in India, it's a united strike, the number of workers is greater than Europe. The European population of many countries put together. But what was the report of Indian mainstream media? What was the report of our very famous, this TV, that TV, many English TV and Hindi TV and Kannada TV, all these are there? I think in states like Kerala, West Bengal and all that, where left democratic forces are very strong, and they are very strong in determining TRP rating also. In Bengal and Kerala, they are very strong in determining TRP rates. Therefore, there the local television channels, this would come. The Texas is not there. Therefore, I don't want to elaborate. It's already time more than what is already thought of. So there are certain sections in our society which constitute the majority. Agricultural laborers. Since the introduction of the extreme capitalist economic policies, I don't say now these days neoliberal economic policies, because those who don't know the real meaning of that term, they don't know neoliberal, new liberal, very good. New is good, liberal also is good. Because we call our Nityananda Swami a liberal man. Isn't it? Some people call me also a liberal man. And they say, even though he is a communist, he is a liberal. So this, I think we have walked into the trap of the capitalists. Their intellectuals coined this term and we have also accepted it. Anyway, that is a different. Therefore, I agree with Professor Ayaz. He prefers this term, extreme capitalism. Anyway, that's it. So after the extreme capitalist economic policies having impacted upon the agricultural sector, nearly 3 lakh farmers committed suicide. My statement, you heard it, without in its editing, in its format and so on. I hope and wish that the discussion and the presentations being made here would strengthen the democratic movement, the progressive movement in the state of Karnataka. We have tremendous possibilities for growth and expansion in this particular state. You have taken up so many issues which others fail to take up, like social discrimination, Pangti Bheda, Madhe Snana, and so on. Nobody is there to take forward in a modified manner the teachings of Vasavanna, Vajana Sahitya, which Kalburgi was doing. Now the forces of reaction thought that by murdering Kalburgi, they are successful in silencing the progressive and democratic forces. We can recall what Pablo Neruda wrote. You can cut roses and flowers, but you cannot eliminate spring. With this conviction, the democratic forces should go forward. Thank you very much.
ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಚಂದ್ರಶೇಖರ್ ಅವರು ಮಾತಾಡೋಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚಿತವಾಗಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಗಾಮನಹಳ್ಳಿ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಮತ್ತು ಲಿಂಗರಾಜ್ ಒಂದು ಹಾಡನ್ನು ಹಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನಾನು ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಕೋರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ.